What if, the dragon that changed everything, Tensura Fanfiction, author, ErogonWolf, a dragon floated through the infinite void, drifting into the very space where Veldanava was creating the world. Just as the creator put the finishing touches on his work, a deal was made. Seals were placed, and a new world awaited exploration. Eons later, a certain slime and his manas began to examine the void itself. Ciel discovered a mysterious door that Veldanava had sealed shut, viewing it as a challenge to overcome. However, unknown to her, the world beyond that door holds a power even stronger than her master. What chaos will be unleashed when the gate is finally opened? Chapter 23. Unforeseen consequence within Erogon's sealed cavern. Erogon's true dragon form has finally healed. Finally, the damage from the void is healed, but now a new problem has come to my attention. As he turned into his human form and found many cracks throughout his body and soul. I have too many ultimate skills and my body and soul can't handle them, so I need to consolidate them to about 4, which will be tricky, especially with the time crunch I have. Don't you agree, little one? As he looked at a small pink slime monster with 2 antennas. Well, if you need to, then do it, said the slime. I just messed up in a spell and landed here, but I don't sense the mirror dimension in this world. That's because I destroyed it when I entered this world by mere coincidence, said Erogon. Can you forgive me? Then how am I alive? Said the slime. Probably because you were dropped in here, said Erogon as he erected 2 barriers, one around himself and one around the slime, since this place is teeming with magicules similar to the mirror dimension, and I swore to protect your base anyway. Really? Said the slime, shocked. Wait, how did you know? As the slime watched as orbs of light left Erogon's body, the orbs changed forms to numerous shapes and forms. Some looked like magic, some like creatures, while others looked like machines they did not recognize. Wait, are all of those orbs skills? There's thousands, and if the larger ones are ultimate skills, there's at least 50 of them. As one of the orbs landed in Erogon's hands, it looked like a simple red thread, but the orb of light was the size of an ultimate skill. This skill is prominently named Fate Weaver. It sounds simple, but the simplest of things are the most complex. It allows me to see the fates of people I look at or any of my servants and subordinates, since I can see through their eyes. Also, as a sub-skill of it, it allows me to alter fate to a certain level of degree. As he let the orb go and it floated up to the other skills. Now what is your name? You haven't told me, said Erogon looking at the slime. My name was Shinsha, said the slime, but after getting here I seem to have lost my name. I see, said Erogon, pondering her words. What if I return the name to you? What do you mean? Said the slime. Well, with all of my skills outside of my body, I'm at a similar power level as Rimuru before he became a demon lord. So if I give you your old name back and return you to him after he becomes a demon lord and he says your name and you accept him, he will override my naming easily, said Erogon as some of the skills started to merge together. Let's do it, said the slime, but how will I be introduced to my father? Erogon put a finger to his lips, a secret Shinsha. As soon as Erogon said her name, she glowed and gained a small amount of magicules and she took on her human form. Shinsha looks like Rimuru but has red eyes, short hair with pink highlights on the tips, with a little bit more on the feminine side in features. Thank you, Erogon, but why can't I leave this cave? Well, for 2 reasons, said Erogon as one orb fell into his hands. One is your new name. Due to the strong connection between you and me, you can't leave the barrier, even though Rimuru can break that connection after naming you. As he ate the orb and his power skyrocketed. The second is the wish that created you doesn't exist. The ogre princess has yet to be named and Rimuru Tempest has yet to reincarnate into this world. That is the main reason. As the other skills formed together into 4 orbs and Erogon consumed all of them. Shinsha pondered for a few hours. Okay, so my original wish from Shuna technically doesn't exist, so the only thing keeping me alive is the density of the magicules in here and you giving me my old name. And Erogon nodded as his barrier collapsed, but Shinsha's changed to an invisibility spell. As she was about to speak, Erogon made a shush gesture and looked up. Why don't you come down instead of milling around up there? Said Erogon as a figure dropped down and made a large dust cloud from the impact. Man, how did you know I was there? Said a man as the dust settled. He wore an eerie-looking mask with an asymmetrical smile decorated with rabbit ears and a big jewel in the middle, that made it look like he was sneering at anyone he showed it to. Only his short red hair on the sides and long in the back is visible under the mask. His clothes look like a clown with bright color pattern with a bright red ribbon for a belt and yellow fur on the neck, with plain gloves and pointy boots. As soon as you passed through that door I sensed you, said Erogon, Laplace. As Erogon said his name he slightly backed away. So he knew this whole time? He is one person my master told me not to engage in, but he also bullied Clayman when they first met during Walpurgis. Well, you seem to know a lot about me, said Laplace as he bowed out of respect. Yes, I am Laplace of the Moderate Harlequin Alliance. It is a pleasure to meet you. As Erogon chuckled at his response. So that's the route you decide to take, said Erogon as Laplace tilted his head. Sorry, I thought you would straight up and attack me due to Clayman a few years ago, but you piqued my interest. As he formed a table with 2 chairs made from magic ore and Erogon sat in one of the chairs. If you want, sit with me. Well, said Laplace walking over and sitting down, I'm not on a job or time crunch at the moment and I only found this place due to Master Kazalim's notes, but I did not expect to start in Dwargon for the path. Wait, these two know each other? Thought Shinsha? No, I think they only just met. I didn't make the cavern, said Erogon, I'm just using it to recover and reorganize my power. Foof ha 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 ha, chuckled Laplace. If that wasn't more of a blatant lie I would have never found this place. It would be connected to Falmouth instead of Dwargon. Who said it wouldn't? Said Erogon drinking some conjured tea. But we're getting off topic. Are you here to collect the reward for Kazalim? Oh, this Kazalim was right about him. Always straight to the point. I'd like to try working with him from time to time, thought Laplace. Yes, I am. I think it may help in my master's resurrection. Erogon chuckled as he got up and walked to the side of the cave and ripped out a large chunk of magic ore and started to compress the entire chunk to about 18 inches in diameter. Time I play a game with you, Laplace. What the hell, that chunk was at least 12 feet tall and 24 inches wide and he completely shrunk. No. He bloody modeled it to that sphere. Okay, what's the game? Replied Laplace as Erogon tossed the orb and Laplace catches it with ease. This orb for its size has barely any weight and it looks like pure magisteel. It's a simple word game, said Erogon sitting back down. What has value but can never be fixed once broken? As Erogon grinned, just think on it for a while and hand that to your other employer through Clayman. It may aid in another venture. Well then, said Laplace getting up and taking a small bow. I best be on my way. As he vanished from sight. Yeah, said Erogon snickering. I hope all parties involved like the gift. As Shinsha's barrier collapsed. What did you do? She said as Erogon shrugged his shoulders. Only time will tell, said Erogon, but that slime will be born in a few years' time. Chapter 24. Reincarnation. Within Erogon's cave, Shinsha was watching the ogre village as Erogon was simply sleeping, as his eyes suddenly opened and turned towards Veldora's cave. Well, I can't believe I missed that, said Erogon. Veldora is missing, so I missed that slime appearing in this world. That would also explain the chaos in the ogre village, said Shinsha. With Veldora missing, the forest is going to be chaotic. Oh, they're settling down, but why? Most likely Shutton's influence, said Erogon. With her presence they can have some sense of stability. As Shinsha changed the orb's perspective to the sealed cave entrance. Moments before, ha 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 ha, you're quite interesting for a slime, said Veldora in his seal. Are you unique? Don't know, I used to be human, said the slime, but then I got stabbed in my last life, then I woke up here as a slime. Oh, so you reincarnated here, said Veldora. It's rare for someone to come to this world from that with only their soul. Oh, so there's different ways to come to this world? Said the slime. Do you know what they are? Well, if my memory is correct, a total of 3, but in the way we call them there is 2, said Veldora. The method you went through and suddenly teleported to this world by a natural phenomenon, we call them otherworlders. The others are called summoned. Summoned? Said the slime. And I didn't get your name. I was known as Satoru Mikami, but I don't feel like that is my name anymore. That's understandable due to reincarnation into a monster. Monsters gain power by having a name, said Veldora, and my name is Veldora, the Storm Dragon, one of 8 true dragons. Summoned are people that are treated like weapons, summoned by no less than 30 mages and several days to complete. They engrave a curse on their soul so they can never defy their master. That sucks, said the slime. So ready to start to break your seal? Not yet, said Veldora. I should give you a name so you can gain my protection. What do you say? Sure, said the slime. Then you should give me a family name so we can be equals. Said Veldora. Okay then, said the slime, pondering for a moment. Oh, I got it. Tempest, the surname of Tempest. Veldora laughed loudly. Excellent, I shall be known as Veldora Tempest. Then I shall name you Rimuru Tempest. As the slime nodded as best as he can. I shall be known as Rimuru Tempest, said the slime as he glowed. All right, ready to get in my stomach? As Veldora nodded and Rimuru ate Veldora and his seal. 3 months after Veldora's disappearance, both Erogon and Shinsha were observing 4 adventurers fiddling with the lock of the old door. Wait, this is wrong, said Shinsha. Papa said there were 3 adventurers there when the door opened. True enough, but with my influence in the world now active, things might change for better or worse, said Erogon, looking at the 4th person. Miss Honda, there should be no problem. Why's that? Asked Shinsha. Simple, said Erogon. She is observant as the other 3 due to her not being awakened, and even if she awakened she is a little, as he pondered his answer, awkward to say the least. Oh come on Caval, is the door still locked? Said a girl with blonde hair and green eyes. Please Ellen, said the other man. The door hasn't been opened for at least 300 years, so it's a little rusted over. You too, Guido? Said Ellen. Should I break it? Said a girl around the same age as Ellen with large breasts, thick thighs, a slender waist, dark blue hair and purple eyes. She wears leather armor with multiple patches of metal in key areas on her arms, shins and waist. Her armaments are a spear and a single-edged blade, but there seems to be a smaller spear on her waist. Her hair is tied into a high ponytail using a hair clip that had 4 small pieces of metal attached to it that can move in different positions. They could resemble 2 pairs of wings or a deer antler. As all 3 turned to her and yelled, "Oh hell no. If you do that the guildmaster will be pissed," said Ellen. I know you have a strategic mind, Honda, but think if we break the door and a lot of strong monsters come pouring out. As Honda pouted but perked back up as Caval finally got the door unlocked. They prepared their stealth arts and walked inside, but only Honda and Ellen sensed for a mere moment a monster, but in both their inexperience paid it no mind as a small blue slime left the cave moments after they entered. Ha 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 ha, laughed Erogon boisterously. Leave it to Honda to not think things through. As he continued to laugh. Though if she was awake would she have the same actions? Asked Shinsha. Most likely, said Erogon. She once thought sex was fight training, until she was explained that it wasn't. Shinsha's expression quickly was horrified by the statement. You're kidding me, right? As Erogon shook his head. I wish I was, but, said Erogon, looking at the orb and seeing Rimuru healing the goblins. Looks like the world hasn't changed much, and found the reason why I couldn't see his fate. Really, why was it blocked? Asked Shinsha. When people gain ultimate skills it blocks other ultimate skills, at least when using them passively. Said Erogon, looking at the orb, seeing its night and the dire wolf attack just ended with their surrender. Well, nothing will happen till the morning, as he laid down to rest. True, said Shinsha. Have a nice nap. During the night Shinsha watched the 4 adventurers resting with the girl Erogon called Honda on watch. What makes her so special? She questioned, then noticed the small spear. Wait, is that a special grade weapon? How could a person in Ellen's group have a weapon like that? As she noticed Honda looking deeper into the cave. What is that? As some sort of shadow creature with a merge of dragon and human hybrid emerged from the darkness. Wait, where's Erogon? I don't sense his presence even though his body is here. What is that thing? Thought Honda, looking at the shadow creature as memories of a past she does not recognize flash in her head. What are these memories? No, that is not important right now. As she held her spear tightly, trying to get Ellen and the others up. The creature pointed its finger at her and began to speak in an unknown language, but she recognized it. Oh, Guardian of Horizon Aerodust, time has come for your awakening, Futayo Honda. Said the creature as it snapped its fingers, and memories from her past life rushed into her mind and caused severe pain as the shadow creature vanishes, as Ellen and the other 2 wake up from Honda's scream and her sudden collapse. What did you do? Screamed Shinsha as Erogon returned to his true body. Just awakened her, said Erogon, holding his hands over his ears. You don't have to yell. Well, what do we have here? Said a voice near the top of the cavern, and Erogon easily noticed it as Laplace as he jumped down. So what are you here for today? Said Erogon, looking at him. Well, I'm here today to offer a proposal, said Laplace, bowing. If this is about the orc disaster, I have no interest in that. Said Erogon. Oh no, not that project, said Laplace. So he knew about that already? No, this proposal is about the Western Holy Church. Got any info about them? What do you offer in exchange? Said Erogon, looking directly into his eyes. What would you like? Said Laplace. If it is in my power, I can provide it. As he noticed Shinsha in her human form watching an observation orb on a few adventurers. She is of no concern, Laplace, said Erogon, but for my payment, as he thought for a few minutes, how about tales about Clayman before he became a demon lord? Chapter 25. The armed nation of Dwargon. Within Veldora's cave near the entrance, the party of adventurers were beginning to leave the cave but realized quickly that it was night. We should rest in here for now, said Caval. And how is Honda? Looking at Guido carrying Honda on his back. She is still out cold, replied Guido. Yeah, said Ellen. It's been almost 3 days since she encountered whatever she saw. As Guido sat her down near the wall of the cave and put a blanket over her, and he chuckled. Well, she still has that old habit still, said Guido as he held up her hand that has a death grip on the small spear. I still remember when she got that spear, said Ellen. Didn't her father kill a sky dragon and lost his life in the process? Yeah, replied Caval. After his death, your father, Ellen, returned the spear to her and she passed out for a week. After that she never let that spear go. True enough, said Guido, looking outside the cave. The sun should be out in about 5 hours, so let's get some rest. As the two nodded and Caval got stuck with the first watch. Within Honda's mind a memory was playing. Within a hall with a medieval style of architecture where 3 people were walking, one was Honda and another girl and boy. Both their faces were in a fog or haze. Hey Honda, you okay? Said the girl. Yes miss, I'm fine, said Honda. But are you alright to carry that much paperwork? Judge, said the girl, even if it was heavy I can make carry the excess since he is here. That's mean, said the man, but I don't mind that about you. As Honda smiles, oh that's rare Futayo. Shut it, said Honda, kicking in between his legs and causing him to fall and wince in pain. You should have offered to help with carrying the paperwork for the count, as she was cut off from sensing a skill being activated and seeing a wall of white light rushing towards them. They prepared their skills, but they were cancelled out by the sheer volume of magic radiating from the wall. Wait, is that? Said the girl as the wall engulfed them and Futayo woke up screaming. Holy crap, said Ellen, luckily being on watch, seeing Honda suddenly waking up and screaming as if having a panic attack. Ellen quickly rushed over and hugged her as Caval and Guido were waking up from the screaming. Thank goodness you're awake and please calm down, you scared the crap out of me. As she was petting Honda's head, trying to calm her down as she was crying from an emotional outburst. It took Ellen a few hours to calm Honda down. Sorry Miss Ellen, I didn't mean to get that emotional, said Honda, now back to her normal self. That is fine, said Ellen, but what happened to you? I don't know how to explain it, said Honda, but in the near future I will have to speak to your father. As she looked at her iconic spear. Especially with this here, how could it survive an entire universe being destroyed? Okay then, said Ellen as the sun's rays started to lick the top of the sealed cave's door. Well, we still have a quest to complete. As everyone nodded and started to head back to Bloomond. Halfway through the day, Honda saw a group of dire wolves running through the woods with what looked to be hobgoblins on their back, except the pack leader had a small blue orb on its back. Interesting to see that, but why did the others not even notice? Wait, are they that clueless? No, they can't be that bad? But anyways, that slime looked very powerful, even though it's trying to keep it concealed or sealed within itself. As she continued with the group to Bloomond. That is very interesting, said Erogon, listening to Laplace's tales about the caring version of Clayman. So the current version of Clayman is more cruel than his old self? As Erogon pondered all the tales. I could agree on that, said Laplace. So what do you know about the church? From what I recall, the church was founded a few hundred years ago, said Erogon. Their doctrine despises monsters and focuses on killing them. But they also want to spread their religion in the process. That's basic knowledge, said Laplace. I mean the unofficial knowledge. Oh, said Erogon as he smiled, that info. Well, from what I know, it was founded by the demon lord Luminous Valentine. Laplace almost spit out the tea. Wait, seriously, a demon lord? As he quickly recomposed himself, anything else? She is still alive, said Erogon, but don't let that info out unless your life depends upon it. May I ask why? Said Laplace as Shinsha was now listening in. Well, I have better intel, said Erogon. You know the Sleeping Night legend? Yeah, said Laplace, It's a legend about the knight that came with the goddess Luminous and has the same authority as the cloistered emperor if not slightly higher. That knight is one of my servants," said Erogon, which caused Laplace to lose his cool. "You're kidding me," said Laplace, standing. "How can a subordinate of yours work under another demon lord?" Erogon let out a sigh. "You did not hear me. I said servant," as Laplace sat back down. "It's different from a subordinate." "How is that different?" said Laplace. "Servants require their master's magicules to survive when they're using their full strength," said Erogon. "That is from what I understand different from subordinates in this world." "I don't fully understand," said Laplace. "Could you explain better?" "Very well," said Erogon, creating two orbs, one larger and the other smaller. "Picture the large orb as myself and the small orb is the servant," as he drew in the air a connection between the two. "That is the connection between us, and it constantly feeds the servant magicules to use their full power." As power from the large orb went into the small orb as the small orb glowed brightly. Laplace pondered about the info Erogon gave him. So if the connection was severed, the servant is weakened severely? "Not exactly," said Erogon. "They can produce their own magicules, but it is half their consumption rate." Which made Laplace tilt his head. "It means that they can easily lose in a battle of endurance." Which made it click in his head. "I understand most of it, but that shows a weakness in your people," said Laplace. "Why tell me this?" "It's compensation for the intel you can't tell," said Erogon. "Anyways, if they die I can just resummon them." As Laplace understood the message and got up and bowed. "The info you gave will be most grateful for the tales I told you," said Laplace, vanishing in a black mist. "Till next time." Erogon glanced at Shinsha's observation orb, seeing that Rimuru was nearing Dwargon. "I wonder how he will react to seeing a true legend in the flesh." As he let out a small grin, as in his own orb a burly red-haired man was sleeping in an inn within Dwargon. "What the hell?" thought Rimuru as he was in a cell in Dwargon with Gobta and 3 girls. All 3 girls had adventurer gear on and looked around 19 to 25 years old. The first girl has dark purple hair and light purple eyes. She was the tallest at 172 centimeters, 5 feet 9 inches. The second girl has bright gray hair and gray eyes. She was the shortest of the 3 at 147 centimeters, 4 feet 9 inches. The last girl has long white and purple hair and bluish purple eyes. She stood at 163 centimeters, 5 feet 3 inches. I mean, they did help me dealing with those bad adventurers, but... As Rimuru looked at the guard. "So that's the whole story?" said the guard, getting the white-haired girl's side of the story. "Yes," said the girl, "that group of adventurers were picking on that hobgoblin and the slime, so we, as she was smacked by the purple-haired girl, ouch. No. I released some of my aura and knocked out most of the people in line as well. I didn't realize that most people were so weak." "Well, don't do that in the city," said the guard. "And can I get everyone's name for my report?" "Aliska," said the girl with gray hair. "Tsurugi," said the girl with purple hair. "Tsukio," said the girl with white hair. "Rimuru," said Rimuru. "And I'm Gobta," said Gobta. As soon as the names were given, another guard rushed into the room. "Captain, there's a problem." "What is it?" said the captain. "An Armosaurus showed up in the mines," said the guard. "Well, let the military know," said the captain. "Already done, but," said the guard, "Garm, Murd, and Dord were in the mine and got injured. Also, we're out of potions from the military seizing them." "Well, find some more," said the captain. "Those guys are like brothers to me." Sir," said Rimaru outside the cell. "Hey, you're supposed to be in the barrel," said the captain. "But if I did that, then how would I do that?" said Rimuru, showing the barrel full of healing potion liquid, their healing potion as a form of good gesture. "All right," said the guard captain, taking the barrel, "but stay in that cell till I get back." As Rimuru went back into the cell. After a few minutes, Rimuru glanced at the 3 girls. "Warning. Cannot analyze the 3 individuals Aliska, Tsurugi, and Tsukio. Their magicule capacity far exceeds your own. Suggestion. Do not engage in a fight with them. Holy hell, they're about as strong or stronger than Veldora, and they're keeping their auras this hidden." "So why did you ladies come here?" asked Rimuru, hesitation in his voice. "We're supposed to meet someone in town," said Aliska in a monotone tone. "Yeah, but we got in trouble due to our local troublemaker," said Tsurugi, looking at Tsukio as she just rubbed the back of her head. "But still, a talking slime, and a named one at that, is rare," said Tsukio. "So who named you?" "Oh, just," said Rimuru as Great Sage started blaring. "Warning. Large amount of magicules detected behind Aliska that is not hers. Someone else is listening, so they're trying to get info? Sorry, it's a secret, I can probably tell you later. That's fine, said Tsukio. I mean, everyone has a secret or two. They stayed silent for a few hours as Rimuru was using sticky steel thread and made a few objects as the guard captain finally came in and Rimuru released the threads as 3 other dwarves walked in. Thanks for that potion, said the captain, it really helped. By the way, the name is Kaido. If you need any help, just ask. I'm guessing here in saying those 3 are Garm, Murd, and Dord? Asked Tsurugi and they just nodded. Yes, they are, said Kaido as he opened the cell as Rimuru and the 3 girls left the cell. As for Gobta, he is asleep in a cocoon of sticky steel thread. Sorry for the delay, you're free to go, and Rimuru, can we get some more of that potion? Sure, said Rimuru, for a price. As they started to negotiate a fair price for the potion and the 3 girls left.